Scott Brown here, and here I am in my gigantic future kitchen and living room, and in this exciting episode I'm hoping we pass a framing inspection, because that's what we need before we move on to the next stage. So much work has gone into this room. If you look back, it all started with our architects visiting and giving us plans and showing us how this room could be. We then settled on a design that we were really happy with. And then we got a building consent based on those designs. Then we knocked out that little room that was in the corner and we put up a gigantic beam. We knocked out the window that was in that little room, turned it into a door. Then Ray and I removed the old entryway, and then we reclaimed that entry and made it part of the house. Oh yeah, and we moved this gigantic window slightly so my door didn't open into it. But despite all of that work, we are still not ready for our framing inspection, and it's really just two main things that we need to do in this room. We need to frame up this floor, and we need to build the wall that goes between the old kitchen and the new kitchen. And then we'll be ready for the framing inspection. Check out this disco ball. One issue I often have with filming is lighting. You know, working on a building site, it's just the light you've got, not the light you want. Okay, so one idea we originally had was to just fill this up with concrete and then try and put the timber floorboards over it. But I don't like the idea of timber floorboards hard onto concrete. More difficult to fix down, and you'd probably end up gluing it down, and then the glue has to be elasticated so the timber can still move. It's a whole thing. And the floor that is already here is framed up on top of concrete, which is what we're going to do here. We're going to carry on what's already here. There you go.
There's a 5 mil difference between that point and this point, this being higher.
So we level across here, but that is lower? Yeah, I think it would look stranger if this just corrected in this one corner. I think we continue that plane through there. So next up on the list is putting some polythene down. We want to try and separate the moisture that's inherently in the concrete from the timber. We don't want that timber absorbing moisture. So in true Scott Brown Carpentry fashion, I'm going to go overboard here. The polythene is very, very thin, and we're going to bolt and screw and nail down to it, and there's going to be some movement, so I don't want it to tear underneath the timber and expose it to the moisture. So here I am going overboard and adding another DPC layer. Went to drill this bolt in. Look at that. Snapped the socket holder clean in half. Cut it clean. I didn't even feel it snap the drill bit, but also insane how hard that concrete is. The green boards that were put down are effectively our bearers. Now we put joists.
When you draw a line, like a cut line, and you put a feather on it,
Yeah.
then you cut on the other side of the line.
What do I do? I see the feather as a, hey, this is the line,
Yeah.
rather than this side of the line.
Yeah, what I do is like, hey, the line's over here, but also cut on that side. So
Okay, so if I wanted a bit shorter than this line, I'd go like that, if this was the piece.
yeah.
I've got the same question that Raymond just asked me. When you're marking a pencil line, what do you do? So what I do is I do my measurement, and then I get my mark, say that's the mark, then I just go like that. always to the right. The arrow is like, hey, this is the mark. And sometimes I'll even put a circle around it. For Raymond, that arrow means cut on this side of the line. And when I think about it, I guess that's what it means for me as well. When I mark like this, my blade goes on that side of the line. Anyway, I'm curious, what do you do? Back and forth, eh, Ray?
Sorry?
Back and forth and forth.
Back and forth, yeah. Look at the jigsaw puzzles that we're...
Okay, time has passed. We have been going back and forth, checking in each joist to make it work. And the last step of that checking in is to cast a laser over and get a nice straight line on the top of the joist. So with the laser set up there, we can reference our floor over here, 812, and then add the thickness of the flooring so my mark goes down, 830. And then that's the top at this end. And the other end, we're taking a lot less off. So we're not using the laser for this end. We're just making it line up with the board that we set before. And then rip the timber.
Ray the Ripper.
Ray the Ripper. Sounds like a horror movie. How's it looking there, Ray?
Nail her up.
I've kind of been procrastinating with some of the jobs that we're doing here, including this job that Ray and I are about to do this morning. Basically, the top plate is part of the bracing system, and currently our top plate sticks out from the wall. So we basically have to shave the beam. So today is the day where we get this annoying job out of the way, and it also gives me an excuse for Ray to bring his router in. Check it out. Always wanted to try these Festool routers. I've heard the dust extraction is really good.
Yeah, it's okay. There is a bit where, if you're doing edges,
yeah,
there's a shroud that sort of goes, that cups.
Oh yeah.
Cups it on the bottom.
So my other router has two handles like this. You have to hold it with two hands, and then when you try and do it with one hand, you're kind of out of balance. But this, I like it. It's cool.
I think I have too many plans.
Another day, another dust wall. Let's build a new wall. Woo! Another piece of beautiful Rimu, or is it cedar? It's nice. So this isn't the wall that separates the two rooms. The new wall is slightly off this wall here, in line with that block. So every wall has to be nice and level and plumb and everything, obviously. But this wall in particular is going to have the kitchen built up against it. We are both parallel from that wall and square from there and square from there. Now, Let's see how long it takes to build a wall.
We're gonna go speed framing.
Speed framing. And we're started. What's that say? 24 minutes.
Hey, we're not finished. Cheating.
24 minutes for the studs and top plates. Let's see how long the knots take. Use the LVL for the studs. The wall nice and straight. And the pink stuff for everything else. Last nog! Stop the clock! Just under 35 minutes.
What do you reckon? Average or not bad?
Not bad for a renovation, I'd say. What do you think?
Well, I just don't want people to start hassling their builders like, hey, you know, it's just build
You should have done that in 35
build
minutes.
that wall in 35.
Oh,
Pregnant one.
pregnant.
Yeah, it's a lady.
What are you going to do with it?
Put it in the carport.
Yeah. Put it on the beautifully built timber storage rack. Ding.
I think I'll put it on a raft there. Yeah. Don't chew my head off. Yeah. I'll figure it out.
Raymond Attenborough.